Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
Your loved ones, do you know what they're doing? Do you care? Well, I certainly do. And as a gerontologist, it's been one of my passions to see how we can make sure that the older adults, I call them elders, have the best life. And so we find excellent companies that are helping them attain that. And we have one now, Elite Senior Home Care. Yep. And we have the founder, who's right here, Christine MULÉ. And we were just finding out why she decided to do this, because there are a lot of home care agencies, but you gave a very good answer. Why don't you share that with people?
Sure, Anita.
Christine.
Basically, when I started out, I was going to visit my aunt at nursing home, and sometimes I would go in there and I would just see some people that were just so lonely and so sad, and they'd be so happy when they seen you that they would reach out, and it's like, oh, I don't really know them, but it was just heart, it really touched my heart, and it made me decide that, you know what, this is maybe my calling to have home health aides that go and help them and, give them companionship and somebody to talk to and have activities with. So,
is this a nurse registry, or is this?
It's a home health agency.
That's very important that you mention that and say exactly what that is.
A home health agency is, we have regulations that we have to, be registered with and followed by with ACA. Same as nurse registry, they're just not as strict as a home health agency. Private duty.
That's right. So these people actually work for you.
Yes.
And you know who you're sending out, and you know what they're doing when they're there, right?
Correct.
That's
we
really.
Yep. We're required to have background check on them for the last 5 years and reference checks. We also do driver's license check, and I also check the National Pedophile Checklist just to make sure
Interesting.
That there's nothing going on, because you hear stories like that sometimes.
Well, the other thing, though, I want to ask you about. So, are you in all throughout South Florida? You just do Palm Beach County?
Palm Beach County, yep.
So in Palm Beach County, if people are looking for an excellent home health care agency, they should call you and tell us how that works. They make the phone call. Then what happens?
So the next step would be I'd get a little bit of information about them, and then I would set up an assessment, which is free. I would come out and meet with the family and the client. Go over all the services that we offer. We offer everything from bathing to light housekeeping, grocery shopping, going to the doctor's appointments, what they call is ADLs, adult daily living activities. So we just make sure that we're assisting them with whatever they do during the day. So whether it's companionship or whether it's more hands-on services with the patient, then we can assist with that.
Well, that's my question now. How much hands-on can you do?
Well, we could do the bathing, we could do the dressing, we can basically touch them. We just can't do any skilled nursing. So no, we could do the blood pressure check, but
Can you help them get into the bath?
Yes, ma'am.
See, this is very important, because we know there are a lot of agencies out there that's more homemaker.
And
so
you can't touch.
That's right, and you might want to share that with people. So when someone calls, because a lot of times the person calling is going to be the adult family member.
Sure. Yeah.
And they don't even know what to ask.
Right.
So why don't you, let's just do like a kind of a make-believe situation that I just make that phone call, and I have a mother who's not doing very well, but I work and I can't be there. What would you be asking?
Well, we'd be asking you, does your mother have any Alzheimer's or dementia? That's the first thing we want to know, because we need to know what type of aid we're going to be sending out. Somebody with experience versus non-experienced in Alzheimer's or dementia. What type of services are you looking for? Are you looking for somebody to just be a companion, or are you looking for somebody to be more hands-on with the assistance of dressing her, getting her ready for the day, engaging in, activities such as puzzles, different things, movies, even going for a walk, whatever it is that she may be into. So I get to get a feel of her first, and then we would set up an appointment, and then I would ask you, if you're looking for a minimum of 4 hours, that's our minimum usually. As far as the week goes, you can do up to 8 hours, 12 hours a week. It doesn't matter. We don't have a minimum for that, but in a period of shift, it's a 4-hour minimum.
What if I have a night job and I need someone there with my mother at night. Can I have 4 hours in the evening?
Yes, you can. Yeah, you tell me what the hours are that you're looking for, and we'll do our best to accommodate that.
And what if I need someone to live in? Can you help me with that too?
We do live-ins as well.
I bet you get a lot of that.
The live-ins are it's a very, let me just look for the words here that I'm trying
Well, it's difficult.
It's
I
difficult to find live-ins,
Yes.
but, we do have a couple of cases that are live-ins, and when we do get an aide that's looking for a live-in, and it's a good match, then it's perfect. But they're a little bit harder to find as far as the live-ins, but they are available.
Right, because the one problem is when there aren't daughters or sons around, and there's no one else, that person almost becomes a family member,
That's right.
don't they?
They do, and they really do. Especially, I've had aides with our clients that have been there from the beginning, and they've never left. They've been the original, and it's been 3-4 years that they've been on that case.
So you really, though, as the owner and the administrator, you have to make some very strong determinations when you first meet someone. Not so two ways. You have to figure out and go through the process of, is this going to be a good match for our company?
Correct.
And number two, can we serve you our client properly?
Right.
So you have a lot. Have you ever had psychology courses? I'll bet you need them.
I know. Sometimes I wonder how I do what I do, but you know what? I love it, and I get such a gratification out of just knowing that I'm helping somebody out there. And when I go out and I meet with the clients and their families, I get a better sense of what they're looking for, and I try to make that match just right off the bat. But if at any point there's a personality conflict or whatever, they just let us know, and we'll switch them out, and we'll put in a different aide in there right away.
Do you ever go to visit the home with the person after they've been there a while and see how everything's going?
We do spot checks. I do spot checks where just out of the blue, they won't know I'm coming, and I'll just come by, like coming up for the holidays. I'll be giving everybody a gift basket that's been with us, for a certain period of time, and just say hi and happy holidays.
And how about the cooking? I know that this is a very big deal here in South Florida because everyone comes from a different heritage.
Sure.
And some people think spicy, and some people they want the old-fashioned cooking, the Southern cooking, or the cooking from Europe. Right. How do you deal with it? Do you have to teach someone to cook properly?
Some people don't care. They don't, because they like to go out to eat, and then if that's the case, then, we only have to worry about breakfast or lunch or whatever. But the majority of our aides do know how to cook. I mean, a lot of our clients request that. They want somebody who can cook. I have like 3 or 4 of them right now that just specifically said, I want somebody who knows how to cook. That's it. They don't care about anything else. I can deal with everything else, but cooking.
Do you have to ever go and give some cooking lessons to people?
Yeah. So it's like, can she cook? If she can't cook, she's not on the case. But my HR girl, Norma, she's just wonderful, fantastic with getting it staffed on with the aides, and just being selective of who we hire. So she's really good at what she does.
Right. And what about now? There are a lot of senior centers who have a lot of activities that the people can go to. So your aide can literally take them to the senior center, and they just sit there, let them do what they do, then they bring them home. So they have to be able to have a car.
Absolutely.
And that's part of it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That they can drive.
If the client, no matter what, regardless, I want to make sure that my aides have a car. If you don't have a car, then really, how can I depend on you to show up for a case, especially if you don't have a ride that day or if you miss the bus?
Uber.
Yeah, and you know what? Some of them give me that, we can't afford Uber. It's like, okay, well then, you know what? You don't have a car, then it's not going to work for us. So sometimes the clients have their own vehicles and the aides drive their car, which is fine, but
but they have to get there, as you said.
Exactly. Regardless, I want them with a car. So, yeah.
And the other thing that comes to mind is many of them have to go to the doctors, and knowing that what happens in a doctor's office, they don't ever remember what they're supposed to say. So a good aide should be able to be there, listen to everything, talk to their family members later. And is that something that you work on with them?
Absolutely. A lot of our clients that live out of state, or their children that live out of state, need somebody to be there to, give them the feedback of what happened that day. And we also work with a nurse who can go to these appointments, and she can make sure that they're on the same page, because some of our elderly clients have dementia or Alzheimer's, and the aides will go with them, but the nurse is an additional backup. So
Really? So you have a nurse that
Yep.
you would send. That's fabulous.
she would directly go there, meet with the caregiver and the client, and then she would give the family the feedback.
Oh.
So, and that's wonderful, because if she sees there's a problem with the client as well, she can address that.
Oh, that is so wonderful. Yes, that's so important as I think about this. So my guest is Christine MULÉ, and she's the owner of Elite Senior Home Care. And Christine is very passionate about what she does, and this is a very, very important business, Christine, and you know that.
Absolutely.
Especially now as our elders, they're certainly, the population is growing, and people are now living into their 90s easily.
Yeah.
And so once someone reaches the point where they just can't do everything, but maybe they can do enough and they only need someone for 4 hours a week.
Right.
They help maybe cook a few things, put them in the freezer. They
can
take
do
care
that.
of cleaning their linens, just do some things, right?
Absolutely. Linen changing, laundry, like I said, doing puzzles, going out for walks, whatever it is that they're into. If they want to cook together, the aide can cook with them. Put some stuff in the freezer. You can make a whole pot of meals, or a big pot of soup or something like that. You could freeze, and they have meals every day. So we do have some clients who have morning help, and then the aide that's there in the morning will prepare something for the evening, and then they'll just microwave it later on in the day. But I want to touch base on, this is a very important decision for families and for the client, because I think that a lot of people have a fear of getting home care, and they may be in denial, or maybe they're just feel like they're going to lose their independence. I want them to know that you're not losing your independence. This is the whole point of home care, is to keep you at home safe and be able to do all of the things that you normally would do, and give your family and your loved ones some peace of mind, knowing that, hey, you know what, Marie is there today with mom and dad, and we don't have to worry about it. She's doing a great job with them and taking them out, and and it gives them a little bit of joy knowing that, hey, somebody's coming tomorrow to care for me. So in the beginning it's a little rough, and it's
because
like,
nobody thinks they need
anyone, need it, correct?
Right? And so I know that there's some parents, some older adult children, who will say, Mom, it's just a friend.
Yeah.
I found someone, I think you're going to like them, and then they start
That's
out
right.
that way, right?
That's right. And then they end up loving them and their family. I have this one gentleman, I went to him a few months ago, and I went to just say hi, and I said, I just want to see how everything was doing, because we work with long-term care insurance as well as the Vet Assist program, which we'll touch base on that. But he said, you know what, Christine, Marilyn's like family now. There is nothing you could do to get her out of here. She is family.
Oh, that's incredible.
And it's like,
that's wonderful.
it's wonderful.
Yeah,
you
right.
hear that, and it's like, yes, that's what you want to hear. That's what makes you feel
Absolutely. And you said something, though, that I would like to just correct when other people hear that. They're going to gain. They're not losing independence.
That's right.
They're gaining independence,
That's right.
right?
They're gaining independence.
They're gaining
Yep.
it, because that way they don't have to complain, I can't get this, I can't do this, and they say, oh, I'm having so much fun.
Right. And, usually when you're at that point, it's, what options is there, right? So if you can stay at home and you can afford to stay at home, then go for it.
Right. And let's talk about the Vet Assist. I love the words. It sounds to me like we're going to do something for the veterans.
Yes.
Okay.
So the Vet Assist program we are partnered with them, and we're, partnered with them as an approved provider as far as being able to service care for our vets. So we work with our vets and the spouses of veterans. So there's a few qualifications, of course, to be able to qualify for the Vet Assist program, but what it is, it entitles either the spouse or the veteran, or the spouse and the veteran, if he's still alive, to have home care together, which they could get anywhere from 11 hours to 20 hours a week of home care, additional pocket of money that the VA is giving for just home care, services. So it's wonderful, because a lot of people don't know about that, and us.
And so you can provide that. That's what
I work with the Vet
you're
Assist
part of it.
program. Yep, and Rebecca Ott, she is the Vet Assist General Area Manager here in West Palm Beach, and she's basically the one that I work with. And I could call her up and say, "Hey, Rebecca, you know what? I have a veteran. Could you go out and qualify and see if we can get him on board, because they need it." And she goes out there and she signs them up, gets all their information, and usually we could start services within a month.
And is this basically for veterans who really don't have a lot of extra money?
Correct.
So that's good.
Correct.
So a lot of people always say, well, I don't have the money to have someone. But if they're a veteran, and then you can direct them because
Correct.
you know, oh, that's terrific. So you may be taking care of them at first, and then they say, well, I can't really afford to have these extra hours. And you say,
Right.
maybe you can.
Right.
And
Right.
then you work on that.
And then we work on that. We've had people who have run out of long-term care insurance, and she ended up needing. I didn't know that her husband was a veteran at the time, so she's like, "No, he is. So can we see if we could qualify?" I said, "Absolutely." So one of the qualifications is you can't have more than $127,000 in assets, not including your home. And you
said 127. That's a lot. There are a lot of people
It's
that
a
don't
lot.
have that.
Yep, that's right.
And that's what they need. I mean, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and as long as their monthly income is within the guidelines, I believe for a spouse it's $1,108 or something, and for the veteran it's like up to $2,100. So it just depends where they are financially. If you fall under that category, as far as your finances go, we could
and you'll help them work through that.
Yep.
I want to give everybody, remember this Pencil Talk Radio, get your pencils out. I want to give you the phone number. I want to give you the website. It's 561-570-6613. Again, it's 561-570-6613. Or you can go on their website, which is EliteSeniorHomeCare.com. ELITE, EliteSeniorHomeCare.com. It's an easy name, and elite. Everyone wants to have an elite service, right? So that's it. Your loved ones in good care, and this is and of course we have Christine MULÉ, who is the owner and the administrator here talking to us today on our radio show, and we're very happy to have people who care about the older adults. And it's always been amazing to me that the kids, a lot of them live somewhere else, and they think that they can come down one weekend, fill up their refrigerator, figure out what they're going to do with their mother or father, and then they go home. And then they talk to them on the phone.
Yep.
Not enough.
No, it's not. It's not. And I see that all too often in this business. It's very sad. But, I understand that they have their lives too. But at the same time, then, maybe you need to make an adjustment and either get them more home care or,
And a lot of people have the money themselves, the older adults.
They do.
And I always say to I'm as a gerontologist, I've always said this to them, it's not your money.
Right.
It's their money.
That's right.
Spend their money for them to have a good life.
That's right. Well, I mean, honestly, a lot of them they're already well done or well off in their life. They're either doctors, lawyers, or, teachers or whatever, but their life is already, formed, and it's, the money that they're making is for them. And the elders, for some reason, are just like, no, don't have it. They're just very frugal with their money because they don't know how long they're going to last or, live, right? So, and a lot of them in the back of their mind are like, I want to leave something for my children or my grandkids. And it's like, you know what? They're doing it. You've already done it. This is for you now. You need to worry about yourself, and whatever it is that you have will help you.
And you're coming from a financial background.
Yes, I am.
Is very important, and you understand this, and you should be able to talk to these people. But, of course, before that phone call occurs, and then when you tell them the price, they'll say, oh, it's too expensive, I can't afford it. Yes, you can afford it because, one day in a hospital or a week in a hospital could be prevented by having someone in your home watching over you.
Absolutely. I agree.
And now we see a lot of the retirement communities where people have aides because it's never enough. A retirement community sounded wonderful.
Yeah.
Even assisted living sounded wonderful, but you only get a few hours. And what do you do for the other 22 hours?
That's right.
And I have experience because my mother was in a very nice retirement community, but then I could see she started needing things, so we got her someone for 4 hours, and it was there. And then then it became 8 hours. But she wanted to be there,
right?
But she needed someone not to be on her back in a sense, but just to be watching in case she had to go to the bathroom or she had this, to help her with her,
You're
with
seeing
her
it more and more.
I know that, and so and you probably are seeing this. Are you in homes now?
I'm in homes. I'm more in homes than I am in facilities.
Well, that's just the beginning.
Yes, it's just the beginning, and we try to keep them there because everybody wants to stay home.
True, but some people will wind up in a facility.
Right.
because that's right. And so you can provide both. That's
Right.
what's nice, isn't it?
Right, exactly.
You know, Christine and I mean, I don't know, are your parents living?
My mom.
So you're a first-hand person. You
Yes.
understand what it's like to is your mother
yes.
living close by you?
Yes, she's like 5 minutes away, and I tell her, Mom, we need to do this, we need to do that. I want to, I like to make sure that everybody has their living wills, everything all settled out, because when that time comes, if something happens to you mentally, we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. You need to have somebody in charge of what's going to happen, what your wishes are, right? So, I have some clients who are like, my mom wants to stay home, and even though she's got Alzheimer's and dementia, she doesn't know any different, really, because she's thinking about the past and things like that. And the son is like, well, that was her wish, so I'm honoring her wish and keeping her home and getting her the care, which is great. I respect that.
I really believe in home care more than going, a lot of people, this is something else we can talk about. There are a lot of people who have hip operations. They wind up in, or knee operations, or other kinds of things. They wind up in a rehab center. If you can do this at home and provide, and I'm sure you can find someone who is a rehab therapist and provide it at home, it's much better. You know that.
I've had people check themselves out of rehab so that they could do it at home.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying, that home, sweet home, it is the best place.
That's right.
And as long as you have the proper care, and that's what you're doing. You're presenting proper care. Let me give Christine MULÉ's phone number again for Elite Senior Home Care. 561-570-6613, and the website is eliteseniorhomecare.com. And you can handle anybody in Palm Beach County.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you live in another county, you can still call and she'll find someone else that she's, I'm sure, affiliated with. Because, I have to say that people who think they know how to take care of someone, because they have good intentions, but they don't understand. If someone wants to get up and they could slip and fall, they don't know about having a belt, certain kinds of things that,
correct,
that they need. And so before you know it, they fall, and now you're really in trouble.
Right.
So if you're a person who has an older adult and you're responsible for them, why don't you just talk to Christine and see? She'll give you some advice, some tips, and also 4 hours a week is not a lot of money, and it could really set you, get you started so you understand yourself.
Right.
It could be what you said. A lot of the seniors are so lonesome at night. They just want someone to be there with them watching TV or whatever it is. And it will make a difference in their life. Yep. So if you're listening and this is something, the other thing I will say is there are a lot of people who, that the family member has dementia of some sort, whether it's Alzheimer's or something else. And the only way they can take care of them because they work is to put them into a daycare center. And that's okay. But then they get home and they're alone at night. And that's the worst time to be home alone at night, because you think, well, they'll just call 911. No, they won't.
No,
they won't. Or they can slip and fall.
Right. Which has happened.
Of course.
And if you don't have a life alert on them, and if they have dementia or Alzheimer's, they might not even remember to hit that life alert. So, you can't put a number or a price on a life, right? So if you can afford to have the home care, I strongly suggest that you look into home care for your loved one, because it is something that is invaluable, right? I think that's the word I'm looking for, right?
No, it is.
It really
absolutely
is. So, I definitely recommend that you reach out and, see how we can help.
Yeah.
Whether it's 4 hours a day, whether it's 8 hours a day. I've had people who just wanted 4 hours a day.
They start with 4 hours, and it's so wonderful.
Yeah.
They say, oh, I want that
and
person
then they
more.
ended up with more.
Right.
But, it's just worth it. It's worth it.
Because a lot of times it's the weekend where someone then, there's nothing for them to do in a weekend. And so you can have someone come on Saturday or Sunday.
That's right.
Oh, this is lovely.
And the price is the same.
Oh, this is lovely. Oh, you're doing such a good job for people.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you're really in this business.
Yes.
It has attracted a lot of people.
Yes.
Not everyone in the business sounds as reliable as you.
Oh, thank you.
And that's really important, because you're really taking someone's life in your hands. You know that.
Yes.
And that's why you're doing this, because you started out telling us that you went to a nursing home and you saw what happens there. And it's not in all nursing homes, and it doesn't have to happen. Everyone has to just be treated as though they were your own mother.
That's right.
And people don't, it's not, I don't fault everybody, because sometimes, Christine, they really just don't know.
No, you're right.
They've had no experience with this. I mean, let's say they haven't lived with their mother or their father for a long time, and they don't know what their father or mother, all their likes and dislikes. But a home health aide, they have to know. They have to know that your mother doesn't want to get up until 10 in the morning, or goes to bed at 12 at night, or learns all about them.
It takes a special kind of person to be an aide. You know, it really does, because I say it all the time. Without my aides, I wouldn't have a business, right? So I'm very grateful to them. I'm very appreciative of everything they do with our clients. And keeping them healthy and independent is, you know, A+ on that one. But the thing is that, you know, we can't do it without them. But if the children aren't here, then who else is going to do it for them? You know, so by having your aide there with you, they become their best friend. They become a family member. They're able to, you know, entertain them. And like I said, some of them even look at them like they're their family.
Yeah.
You know, so it takes a special kind of person with that, and you have to be very passionate. You have to be very patient and caring. So that's the type of aides we look for.
And they had to have a good leader like you are, because,
thanks.
well, but it's very important. The leadership is what determines how they're going to act. And as long as you make them know that your loved ones need good care, and that's what they want to work for you, that's what they have to do,
That's
right?
right. That's
so
right.
Again, the phone number is 561-570-6613, or go to their website, which is EliteSeniorHomeCare.com. Thank you, Christine, so much.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.